Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing today? Slight change of gears. We're going to talk about less technical topic. Have you wondered how does your CV look like to a recruiter? Does your employment history tell a story? Is it a compelling story? And also, how this CV will look like in 10 years' time? What you want to do in 10 years' time? I would assume that at least we want to have some fun 10 years from now, 15 years from now, have some fun and make a living, at least. Now, this is too far to reason logically, this time period. So, I'm going to talk about how to manage ourselves in such a long time period. And all of what I'm saying is based on my career as a developer, then as a team leader. And I've been doing recruitment, IT recruitment for 10 years now. So I've seen a lot from every angle. What makes reasoning about such time very, very difficult is uncertainty. Huge, large uncertainty in many, many areas. I want to focus on two of them. First is the market, the technology. This was my first computer, and I'm not that old. It didn't have multitasking. It didn't have hard drive. It didn't even have proper audio output. It also didn't have any networking. So try to imagine your work without any network. And I don't mean progressive web app working offline. Our tech industry changes ever faster, and we know that, and it changes more fast than other branches of industry. Some say that programming will be susceptible to AI automation. So, just for fun, or out of interest, take a look at what was cool, or maybe not cool, but mainstream in technology 10 years ago. Perl was still going strong, XML was used widely, and 15 years ago, actually, if you wanted to do front-end development, you called it Flash programming. Back then, only 10 years ago, we didn't have Stack Overflow, we didn't have Chrome browser and the Chrome development tools, so the development time was much longer. There was also no Angular, obviously. So, what tools will we use 10 years from now in 2027? I don't want to even guess about that. That's the first uncertainty. The second uncertainty is ourselves, how our interests change over time. You might think that you are that focused on being a developer, right? But with time, our self-awareness increases. Our priorities change in life. And for example, at Evojam, we have a couple of people already who switched careers entirely. So in previous lives, they've been like working in energy sector, they've been professional musicians, and they decided to move towards programming, entirely changed their career. Now, move away from programming is also possible, and I would be a good example of that. I was dead focused on being a developer since primary school. And it took me a few years of working as a developer after graduating from computer science to realize that other things are more interesting to me. So, what I'm trying to say is that your future interests are not sure. You cannot be sure of that. So we have two large uncertainties about the market, about ourselves, and on top of that we have traps. Traps that are set up by commerce, by society, and by our own human nature. Again, I'm going to talk about just two of them. First one is comfort. Whenever you switch job to another one, just because it feels okay, like it feels familiar, or whenever you stay at work just because it's convenient, you are sacrificing progress. That's natural because people tend to save energy. We want to stay still and not to venture too far from our base. Now, the second, well, again, that's the only code in my presentation. I've had a job at which I learned nothing. I spent there 1.5 years, and I knew exactly the same entering the work. I knew all of the tech stack, and when ending that job, I knew exactly the same. It felt okay. I made decent salary, but to me, the time was wasted. We recently got a CV that looked something like that. It's a replica. It's not legal to present somebody's CV. So it looks something like that. Somebody was doing almost the same for 10 years. Only the title changed and the employer changed. I want to believe that this person was after some kind of progress, but some kind of perfection. But I think progress is more important than perfection. Now, the second big trap for us is expenses. We all want to earn more money. We all have, as I assume, we all have some needs postponed for later because of budget limitations. So we work, we gain experience, we change jobs to earn more, right? That's okay. And being a developer allows us to earn some handsome salary. It's a very good thing, but at the same time, it's a curse. Because our expenses and lifestyle is always somehow correlated to how much we earn. If you're wise and you spend less than you earn, you're on the green line, you have savings. If you're less good at managing your own desires, then you are spending more and you're in debt. That's the red line. Either way, the lifestyle is related to the salary, and it's really hard to lower your lifestyle. I've tried. So the trap is that plenty of other professions pay much less. When you go out of programming, you take a look to the right, to the left, and almost everybody earns less. So what if you decide at some point that you want to be a journalist or a musician? Will it be possible for you to move? Obviously, keeping your expenses on the green line and builds up your savings, right? But it also increases largely your level of freedom. This is what allows you to take a cool, less paying job. This is what enables you to switch industry, to join a startup or start your own business. So expenses can be something that takes away your freedom. So where is the map? What's the compass? Given the uncertainties of ourselves and of the market, given the traps of expenses and of comfort, am I suggesting that going for an easy job and good money is a mistake? I'm not telling that, but what I'm saying is that sometimes, like logical next step in our career, can hurt us in the long run, 10, 20 years from now. So, if not direction, then what? I have like 2 proposals for guidelines. First is old-fashioned fun. Because working on something fun makes us internally motivated. We are curious. We probably work from our strengths. Our job is more pleasant to us. We have more energy going to work and coming back home. Work-life balance doesn't seem to be a problem. Fun probably means that you're working is an indicator of something important to you. So prioritizing fun on each switch of the project or in a career actually keeps you away from the expenses trap, or can help with that. So for example, if you hate coding backend, don't take that full stack job, because it will cause you to learn a lot of things that you don't like. If you always had this interest for music, perhaps you should work on that platform that connects composers with video makers. It may make sense. The other guideline I'm proposing is learning. In the long run, the only thing that matters is amount of learning we've done over time. So speed of learning matters. The fastest learning happens out of the comfort zone. You've heard that thousands of times. This is a cliche, but bear with me. We are out of our comfort zone when we've taken on a job or a project that's beyond our skills. We need to take more responsibility than ever. We have tight deadlines, and it means that we are beginners again. We are incompetent, and we fail a lot. This creates stress, but it also causes fast learning. And in the end, those are the most important moments of our lives. Those are the ones that we will remember. I have this question that I ask every candidate. What was the best project that you've ever done? Large percentage of candidates tells me something along those lines. I've got a hard project. I was too junior, I didn't know the technology, the deadline was tight, but there was two of us and we had freedom and we did it. And then when I ask them about worst project in their career, they often mention the same one. Because all that matters is the learning delta, the share of novelty in the new project, new enterprise. Unfortunately, when I read a CV, I take a look at the date of birth of the candidate and I can guess what will be in the skills section. Because people tend to stop learning at some point. So please don't. Going after learning also can keep you out of the comfort trap I mentioned before. So, fun and learning in your work will make you great at what you do. It will sharpen your skills and will keep you relevant to the market, even in the longest time period. In the end, CV should show something like a trajectory, a progress or movement from somewhere to somewhere. It doesn't have to be linear, it doesn't have to be logical or consistent. There just needs to be forward motion. So, enjoy this moment, enjoy your work, and in the next project switch, go for learning and use fun as guideline, and keep growing. Thank you.